Laughter among the stars. The Grand Council Hall of the Galactic Union stood tall in orbit, above a bright blue gas giant. It was filled with aliens from 100 species, tall ones with silver skin, small ones with wings, and even shadow-like beings with no faces. All of them sat in floating chairs, watching the center stage where a large hologram flickered on. In the middle of that glowing image was a picture of Earth. A red-scaled alien named High Speaker Rax tilted his head and let out a long, wheezing laugh. "Is this the so-called human homeworld? This rock," he mocked. Others followed. Laughter echoed across the chamber. Some slammed their hands on tables. Others made loud clicking sounds, their version of giggles. "Earth has no fleets, no colonies, no warriors," said Counselor Zell, a tall blue-skinned creature with 4 arms. "Why are they even part of this council? They begged to join," said another. "And now they sit in silence, no answers, no attendance. Maybe they finally understood their place at the bottom." More laughter. The galaxy had moved on without Earth. The humans were quiet now, no trade, no signals, not even angry messages. Many thought Earth had given up. Maybe their little world finally ran out of power, Rax joked. Maybe they froze in the dark. A bright flash appeared on the central screen. It was a new image recorded earlier. A small council scout ship floated above Earth's orbit. Suddenly, a strange light struck it from below. It vanished in seconds. No explosion, no wreckage, just gone. The room went silent. Then someone said, "Glitch in the system." Or human clumsiness, Rax said, trying to bring the laughter back. Maybe they aimed a mirror wrong, but something felt off. Meanwhile, on Earth, in a dark underground command center, General Harlan stood alone, watching the council broadcast on a large screen. His face was still, but his eyes burned like fire. Behind him, several officers stood quietly. The room was cold, filled with dark steel panels and humming machines. "They laugh," Harlan said softly. "They always did." No one responded. He turned slowly, walking to a panel that had not been touched in years. A red light blinked at the center, waiting. Above it, one word was written: retribution. Harlan placed his hand on the scanner. The red light turned green. "All systems online," a voice said. "Across Earth, deep under oceans, inside mountain ranges, and in hidden space stations." The signal spread. Humans had stayed quiet. They had listened, watched, recorded. And they had prepared. Back in the council hall, another alert appeared. This time, it was from a colony near the edge of Zarnan space. A mining planet, population 30,000. The screen showed a black shadow moving across the sky. It didn't match any known ship design. It had no name, no signal, no ID. Then the feed cut. Static filled the chamber. Another glitch, someone asked. No one laughed this time. On the moon, a secret human base lit up for the first time in decades. Engineers rushed to stations. Pilots walked calmly toward massive black warships. Each ship had no flag, no markings, just one message inside each cockpit: "Let the stars remember who we are." General Harlan spoke through all channels now. "Project Retribution is active. Earth will no longer answer words. We will answer with fire." In space, an ancient human satellite turned toward the stars. It sent a short message to the Galactic Council: "We heard your laughter." And then it added, "Now hear ours." Back in the council hall, the hologram glitched again, but this time, it showed a brief image of something terrifying, a shape sleek, dark, massive, moving just beyond the outer systems. The hull looked alive, weapons covered its surface. No one could tell where the engines were because the ship didn't move like normal ones. Then the screen went black. Counselor Rax stood slowly. His voice was no longer loud. What is that?" No one answered. The room was quiet now, very quiet. For the first time in galactic history, the joke wasn't funny anymore. Signals from silence. The council hall had never been this quiet, not during war, not during rebellion, not even during the Great Collapse centuries ago. Now, silence ruled. Every alien counselor stared at the black screen hovering above the chamber. The shape they had seen, dark, unnatural, silent, did not match anything in the galactic archives. No known species used ships like that. No known empire had ever built something that moved without sound, without trace. And yet, it was coming, far away, on a hidden space station called Watchpoint Sigma. A group of deep space monitors sat frozen. The station hovered near the outer rim, where forgotten trade routes passed. One operator, a young insectoid named Tev, noticed something unusual. A blinking signal, no ID, no origin. It was just 3 words, repeated every 10 seconds. "We are awake." Tev leaned closer. "What is this?" The signal wasn't loud, it wasn't strong, but it was heavy, like it carried weight through space. Then another message followed, council laughter recorded. And then, response launch underway. Tev's wings trembled. He reached for the emergency beacon, but it was too late. The lights flickered, the station shook. Outside, something moved past the windows, fast, silent, massive, a shadow darker than space itself. And then, Watch Point Sigma was gone, back on Earth. General Harlan stood before a giant screen. It showed the full map of known space. Dozens of red lights blinked across it, locations where human stealth fleets had just activated. These fleets had been sleeping for decades, hidden inside comets, behind moons, even buried under alien cities. No one knew. Not even most humans. Until now. Status of Operation Thunderfall? Harlan asked. Engines warming, said a calm voice. Target? The laughter. The voice replied. At the edge of the galaxy, in the Lornex Nebula, the first human warship arrived in full view. The ship had no name, no broadcast. It simply appeared, dropping from a fold in space with a thunderous boom. It hovered above an alien mining colony where rich metals were taken from asteroid fields. Aliens looked up. The ship said nothing, but its hull opened, and light poured out. From that light, small black drones flew down, hundreds of them. They didn't attack, not yet. They circled the colony, scanning everything, recording everything. Then one drone faced the sky and sent a message upward. We were mocked. Then it added, we remember. And then the entire colony's power shut off. In the council hall, panic began to grow. This is impossible, Counselor Zell shouted. Earth has no such fleet. No such ships. They were backward. Another screamed, primitive. But the proof was there. Colony after colony sent emergency messages. Unmarked black ship in orbit. Stealth fleet above trade station. Earth signal detected from inside our own military base. They're already here, Counselor. Rax slammed his fist on the table. Send our armada. No, someone shouted. We don't know what they want. A slow voice echoed from the back of the hall. It belonged to an old, nearly forgotten member, an alien who had lived since before the council even formed. He stood with trembling legs and whispered, I warned you. Everyone turned. Humans are not conquerors. They're not talkers. They're not weak. He looked up, his voice a little stronger. They are sleeping war gods. And you just kicked the temple door open. Meanwhile, General Harlan watched the reports come in. He didn't smile. He didn't cheer. He simply nodded. Once begin transmission, he said. Across the stars, every screen on every colony, station or ship flashed with one simple message. From Earth, we were silent out of respect, but you chose mockery. Now, we speak through force. The final line hit hardest. This is not war, this is correction. As the council struggled to understand what was happening, more ships appeared, not just one or two. Hundreds. Their designs were sleek, sharp, terrifying. Each one seemed to absorb light instead of reflect it. No two looked exactly alike. Some had wings like birds, others curled like serpents. And one even resembled a giant sword floating in space. The galaxy, for the first time in centuries, realized something terrifying. Earth hadn't been quiet because it was weak. It had been waiting, and now the silence was over. Shadow wings over stars. A shadow spread across the skies of Taurine 6, a rich trade planet at the edge of the galactic core. The people of Taurine 6 had never seen war. They traded luxury goods, rare gems, and technology. They believed they were safe, protected by the council's fleet. Until today, the sky turned black, not from a storm, not from night. But from wings of machines. Hundreds of human warships, dark and silent, appeared above the planet. They didn't broadcast warnings. They didn't speak. Their shape alone brought fear. Each ship looked like it was made from shadows and steel, with glowing lines of red and blue crawling across their hulls like veins. The people of Taurine 6 stared upward in terror. Then a message came. Simple, cold. Earth remembers Terrans. Laughter. Earth has come. In the skies above, the ships began to move. They flew in patterns, fast, sharp, perfect, like dancers in a deadly ballet. The planetary defense system activated. Dozens of council-built fighter ships launched. They never returned. Human drones moved faster than thought, dodging blasts, disabling engines, cutting through hulls with clean energy beams. No explosions, no chaos. Only silence. One by one, the council ships fell to the ground without a sound. In the central city, an alien leader named Karnal trembled in his tower. He had once spoken loudly against Earth during council sessions. Humans are soft, he had said. Let them sit and watch real powers rule. Now he watched a feed of Earth's ships surrounding his city. He tried to call the council. No signal. Tried to call nearby fleets. No answer. He stood frozen, staring at the sky. A human transmission played on every screen of his tower. Mockery noted. Target acquired. Justice in progress. Back at Earth Command, deep underground, General Harlan watched multiple feeds. Taurine 6, Zarnan Reach. Orbitals near the Lornex zone. Everywhere, Earth's shadow fleets moved like one mind. They didn't destroy everything. They didn't burn cities. They targeted key structures, military towers, council outposts, sensor grids. Every target was selected with precision. Status? Harlan asked. Operation Shadow Wings at 84% completion, replied the AI. Civilian casualties? Minimal as ordered. Harlan nodded slowly. Good, let them remember who taught them space warfare. Meanwhile, panic spread in the council hall. They're disabling everything, a counselor screamed, without killing. They're not fighting a war, another whispered. They're rewriting the rules. Images poured in from around the galaxy, warships floating silently after their weapons had been cleanly sliced off, cities with lights out but no deaths, and council officers locked inside bunkers, powerless. The council's fleets couldn't match Earth's strategy because it wasn't war. It was surgical domination. In a hidden council stronghold, Counselor Rax finally broke down. We must talk to them, he shouted. We must offer peace. But they're not replying, someone said. Then we beg, Rax roared. We crawl if we must. For the first time in living memory, the so-called rulers of the stars felt truly small. Back on Taurine 6, Carnal received a final message. It wasn't a demand. It wasn't a threat. It was a simple statement. The skies have been corrected. Then the ships vanished. No explosion, no fire. Just a ripple in space, and they were gone. The people of Taurine 6 stepped out slowly from shelters. Their planet was quiet, their defenses were gone, their pride was broken, but they were alive. That was Earth's message. We don't need to destroy you to defeat you. In the stars above, Earth's war fleets regrouped. Thousands of ships, all dark and precise, floated in silence. One pilot, a young woman named Eva, looked at the Earth symbol glowing in her cockpit, a circle, a single dot in the middle. So small, and yet the galaxy would never forget that dot again. The fire that waited. The Galactic Council thought it had seen everything. Planet busting weapons, time-folding drives, even suns turned into weapons. But nothing prepared them for Earth's strategy. Wait, watch, remember, strike. No speeches, no mercy, no warnings, only precision. In the cold void near Velen Prime, one of the Council's oldest military stations floated in silence. Once guarded by 20 capital ships, now it had none. Every one of those ships had vanished the night Earth's signal was heard across space. General Ordugvale, a four-eyed commander with a long silver cloak, stood on the bridge of the station. He was afraid, the air was tense, the crew spoke in whispers. Velen Prime had never been attacked. Until now. Status report, Ordug asked. A young technician trembled. Sir, the shadows have arrived. He turned to the window. At first he saw nothing, then, like ghosts forming from the dark, 12 Terran ships faded into view. No lights. No engines. No visible weapons. They didn't move, they just watched. At the same moment, far away, Earth's command center ran silent. General Harlan stood with arms behind his back. He watched the galaxy blink with data. Red dots for Council worlds, blue for Earth's fleets. His second in command, a calm woman named Vera, stepped forward. All fleets in position. Harlan nodded. No more warnings. Today, they learn the price of arrogance. She tapped her console. A signal went out. At Velen Prime, the 12 ships suddenly moved, not in normal speed. In jumps. 1 second they were still. The next, they were at the base's walls before alarms could sound. The power grid of Velen shut down. No shields, no weapons, no escape. Then every screen on the station glowed. It wasn't a face. It was Earth's symbol, a simple white dot inside a black circle, and the words below it, the fire that waited has come. The ships did not attack, they disabled systems one by one, artificial gravity, life support, navigation, but they left the crew alive. Then a final message came. The galaxy laughed. We learned, we remembered, now, you will. General Ordug fell to his knees. This is not war, he whispered, this is revenge. Meanwhile, in Council HQ, screams filled the halls. They've taken Velen, our strongest post. No damage to cities. But we are helpless. Counselor Zell slammed her clawed hand on the table. We should have crushed Earth when they were still begging. An old archivist replied quietly. You tried, elsewhere, in orbit of Zurich. A Terran superweapon activated for the first time, its name, Sentinel Flame. It was not designed to destroy planets. It was designed to leave a mark, a massive burning Earth symbol appeared across the upper atmosphere of Zurich, made of harmless solar radiation, visible to the whole galaxy. Earth had written its message in fire across the stars. We are not silent now. At Earth Command, Vera turned to Harlan. Council broadcasts have dropped to 30%. Their fleets are retreating, colonies are isolated. Good, Harlan replied. Let them sit in silence now. He walked to the central platform, looking at the spinning galaxy hologram. So many stars. So many worlds, all of them once called Earth small. Now they hid when Earth moved. Back at Velen Prime, the lights returned, the Earth ships were gone. But nothing worked the same again. The weapons would not fire, the engines would not start, every system had been Rewritten, a final message blinked on their main screen: try again and next time. We won't leave power running. General Orduk, the proud warrior of the stars, sat in his chair broken. He whispered to no one, we mocked the fire that waited, and now we burn without flame. No mercy, only memory. Every major species in the galaxy received the same message that night. It didn't come through the council. It didn't come from diplomats. It came through hijacked satellites, personal devices, even home systems. A short video. Simple, cold. No violence. Just names. A list, a long, scrolling list of every counselor, officer, and leader who had ever laughed at Earth, mocked it, voted against it. At the top, Counselor Rax. At the end of the message, one sentence blinked across the screen: Earth forgets nothing. On the homeworld of the Ulexan species, panic spread like wildfire. Families of former counselors began fleeing. Some tried to send apologies, others went into hiding, but Earth wasn't responding. It wasn't asking for anything. That was the terror. Earth didn't want peace. It wanted them to remember. In deep space, a council battle group tried to enter a forbidden zone near Earth's claimed territory. As soon as they crossed the border, their ship stopped, not destroyed. Just stopped. Engines off, weapons off. Lights off. They floated like metal coffins. One captain tried to escape in a pod. He was never found. Another tried sending a message. The reply came instantly: your name is on the list. General Harlan reviewed the reports. All around him, screens glowed with live data, fleet movements, captured systems, broken defenses. He didn't smile, he didn't blink. This was never war, he said. Vera nodded beside him. It's history. Meanwhile, an ancient alien historian named Moro sat alone in his archive world, reading every record about Earth for the 100th time. He looked at a dusty, forgotten line from 1,000 years ago. Do not awaken the humans. If they rise, we fall. He whispered to himself. We didn't awaken them. We mocked them. Elsewhere in the galaxy, on the wealthy planet Rilvon, a gala was interrupted by a strange sight. In the night sky above their capital, the stars rearranged. For a full minute, they formed one symbol: Earth's mark. It wasn't physical, it was a projection from a hidden Terran stealth ship nearby. Pure light, but it was enough. People screamed, some fainted. The richest woman on the planet fell to her knees and cried, we should have never laughed. The council finally gathered what was left of its members. They hid in a mobile station far from any mapped system. Guards surrounded it. Only trusted species were allowed inside still. They argued, they haven't killed us all yet. One shouted, that means they want something. Said another, but the truth was simpler. Earth didn't want to rule. Earth wanted silence. It's silence. And if the galaxy could not respect it, Earth would make it loud with fear. A message came directly to the council's secret station. It didn't have an origin. It was voice only. A calm human male said, no mercy, only memory. We didn't start this, but we will be the ones to end it. The signal cut. Half the council cried. The other half just sat, knowing the galaxy had changed forever. On Earth, civilians lived in peace. Children played in streets. Skies were clear. There was no sign of the firepower Earth now commanded. But if you listened closely, if you stood in the wind on a quiet mountain, you could almost hear the engines humming beneath the soil. Waiting. Watching. And remembering. The council falls quiet far away in the dark corners of uncharted space. The Galactic Council's last mobile station drifted in silence. Once filled with bold voices and proud leaders, now it echoed only with whispers and fear. Half the council had resigned, the others had gone silent, and those who remained, the proud, the loud, the powerful, now stared at one glowing symbol hovering in the center of their chamber. The mark of Earth. It was not a threat. It was a presence. It never blinked. It never faded, and it was always watching. Counselor Rax sat slouched in his floating chair. The red of his scales had faded, his eyes were sunken. Once he had laughed at Earth's name, now he barely spoke. They haven't attacked us yet, he whispered, mostly to himself. Another counselor, with long glass-like arms, replied, they don't need to. Rax's voice cracked. What do they want? No one answered. Because the truth was clear, Earth wanted nothing, and that was far more terrifying. Across the galaxy, an eerie calm spread. Pirate fleets vanished. Border conflicts ceased. Trade convoys traveled in silence. Every species, from the largest empires to the smallest moons, adjusted their behavior. No more Earth jokes. No more votes against human systems. No more threats. Just careful silence. And glances toward the stars. In deep orbit above a council supply world, a small black object floated motionless. The locals thought it was debris until it spoke. A soft female voice echoed in their skies. We don't need warships to be near. We are near everywhere. The sky listens for laughter. The object disappeared without light or sound. That night, the entire planet shut down its military grid voluntarily. No one ordered them to. They just understood. Back on Earth, General Harlan looked out at the stars from a high cliff. He was alone. He held a tablet showing data feeds from across the galaxy. No wars, no riots, no resistance. Vera stepped beside him. It worked, she said. Harlan nodded. Fear lasts longer than fire, he replied. In a distant alien academy, young students once learned about the galaxy's great powers. Now, a new chapter had been added. It had no name, just a black circle with a white dot. The title read, The Day the Stars Stopped Laughing. Even in distant rogue worlds, those who never cared for the council, things changed. A warlord named Kravik, who once claimed Earth was prey, found a small coin placed in his throne room one night. It was black metal. Engraved with one dot. In the center, Kravik left his throne and never returned. The Galactic Council, what remained of it, sent one last message to Earth. It wasn't a plea. It wasn't even a treaty. Just 5 words: we understand now. We remember. There was no reply. Just a short blink from deep space, one pulse of light. Then silence. And across the stars, from peaceful farms to high-tech cities, from ice-covered moons to glowing crystal worlds, everyone understood. The humans were not just warriors, they were something older, something patient, something watching, something you should never wake with laughter. The dot in the darkness, the galaxy had changed. No war had truly happened. No cities burned, no planets destroyed. Yet fear of Earth now stretched from the core to the rim. Trade routes adjusted. History books rewritten. Children whispered stories about the dot, the symbol that ended the arrogance of empires, without firing a single world-ending shot. And still, Earth said nothing. No demands. No conditions. Just silence, the kind of silence that held power. On a peaceful water world, a poet stared at the stars and wrote. A dot appeared in the sky, not to ask, not to cry. It came with no roar, no plea or spark, just silence, and left us in the dark. The poem spread like wildfire across systems, cultures, species. No one mocked Earth anymore. Some now worshipped it. In a distant observatory hidden in the rings of Yarnathuri, a scientist named Drelv discovered something unusual. He had been studying energy trails from Earth's warships. But this wasn't from a ship. It was something deeper. Older. A pulse of energy buried in subspace, encoded with one line, we never meant to be gods. Drelv played it again and again. The message repeated, every time, in different human voices: old, young, male, female. One meaning, one regret. Meanwhile, on a quiet human outpost orbiting a dying star, an old man named Jonas sat alone. He was not a general. Not a soldier, not even a leader. Just a watcher, one of many Earth had trained over generations. He looked at a tiny glowing screen. It pulsed once. Then again, and the word received appeared. Jonas smiled softly. Then powered down the last beacon Earth had left. The final transmission Earth sent was never seen by most, only the Council, and those who had once laughed the loudest. A single image, the galaxy map, every system glowing softly. Then Earth's symbol appeared over it, not to threaten, but to remind. A calm voice followed. We didn't rise to rule, we rose because you pushed us. This is not a warning, this is a mirror, look at it well. And then Earth went silent again. Its fleets vanished from view. Its voice left the stars. Only the dot remained. Decades later, a new generation of council members sat in silence, looking at that same glowing symbol. No one dared speak against it, not out of fear, but because deep down they knew Earth was still listening. Maybe even closer now than before. Waiting. Watching. Remembering. Somewhere beyond the rim of the known galaxy, a Terran scout ship entered unexplored space. Its hull bore no flag. Just the mark and the words beneath it, etched in quiet metal: never again. The laughing stock